Medallions have been a staple feature of Chapter 5 in Fortnite, with them being originally obtained by killing a society member and them dropping a mythic and medallion. Medallions in Season 1 all did the same thing, passively regenerate shield, and this could stack. This was a great addition and had many features such as not needing to carry heals, sharing with duo, and having your own aura around the map to sense your presence. Oh yeah, and also opening vaults. But with the next season coming and all of the society members getting murdered, there were new metabolisms and they each had their own abilities. The aspect of God medallions, and then the next season they continued the trends of different abilities per Medallions. However, after Chapter 5 Season 1, despite the great variety in the power of medallions, they became worse and quite frankly bad. The first major problem with the new medallions are the balance, or the lack thereof. You got pretty cool medallions like Siphon Hades not being bad but having its place, but then you have frickin' Cerberus and Ares being the complete opposite sides of the power scale. Ares is so bad that competitive players would drop it just so they don't get doxed while trying to rotate, because it barely does any shit. An average of 5% damage increase means a 50 shot damage would go to 50 damage. If it actually made a difference to the game, it would be better, but it does absolutely nothing. I think I heard it gives a 5% boost. Low-key true. I don't know who had the pleasure of collecting all four yet, but it's so awesome. It's legit God mode. In my opinion, best to worst are Cerberus, Zeus, Hades, and Ares. Then you have the Cerberus medallion. This Cerberus medallion was so f***ing banana bonkers that players would literally
drop the Siphon medallion
just to not get keyed by players with Cerberus medallion. How are you meant to counter the dash medallion? This thing feels terrible to play against in competitive hands, especially with how bad the current mobility is. Who would have guessed that infinite dashes wouldn't be broken? And if I remember, Peterbot had a 55% win rate and always dropped for Cerberus medallion. Remind you, these two medallions are in the same game at the same time, and one of them is so bad it sabotages you, and the other one is so good that desperate teams would drop for the chance of having the best item in the game. Now, the next season, Season 3, had even less medallions, and now there's only 3, but you could make an argument for 2, because boom bolts aren't even in competitive, so Ringmaster's infinite rocket ammo is completely useless because you can't even use the rocket ammo. But then I found one more problem with medallions that started to happen with each season. The map is getting more barren. Tell me, when was the last time you've dropped Rebels Ruse? Season 1 had a good spread of medallions, with all of them being mostly well spaced out and making the balance of power and the variety of drop spots better. After all, almost every drop is reasonably close to one of the mythics. Then take Season 2, where you see all the medallions fall into a diagonal line across the map, and the medallions are close to each other in pairs. This makes it so basically all of the good new stuff is just in 1/3 of the map. Places like Snooty Steps and Classy Courts were stupid to drop at because there's no mythic, no medallion, and it's far away. This map feels big and barren when all the best loot is literally just in 2 biomes. One of my biggest complaints about Season 2. Then you got Season 3, which is so bad it's not even funny. Although the map doesn't feel barren when playing since you have cars letting you easily travel around the map, all the medallions are just in the bottom half of the map unless if Megalodon is traveling around the map. The only great loot is less than half of the map, because at least they brought back furry mythics, Oscar and Cerberus, but thankfully they didn't bring back the metabolism. I literally forgot the underworld was a place because there's no reason to drop there if you're going for Cerberus. Chapter 5 Season 1 handles medallions the best in my opinion. All medallions did the same, making the balance of power equal and making all medallions good, even if some mythics were better than others. They also had vaults, which needed medallions to be open, giving extra loot. Overall, I think newer Fortnite medallions need a little bit of rework. I'd keep the special powers of each, but the spread of medallions farther apart and give each medallions a 30 or so shield boost or something similar, making collecting the medallions good and having a reason to use all medallions. Because Ringmaster and Ares medallions are so bad, but if all medallions had one stackable trait that made them each insanely good, but in equal ways, it would be perfect.